Finish this phrase. Knowledge is
Power.
That's incorrect. Knowledge is not power. It's the ability to apply the knowledge that is power.
What are your thoughts of having a personal gun or revolver as a self-defense?
Any tool, first look at the laws for your state, for your country, for whatever, as far as owning a firearm so you don't get in trouble.
So what can parents do different just to make sure they don't accidentally raise a bully?
So when I approach schools, I want to do one of three things. I want to do a presentation and in-service training for the school staff. Then I do the student assemblies where I teach the students how to stand up for themselves. Once I've got enough witnesses that can see, hey, I'm not the one that's initiating or starting the fight. I'm trying to get away, I'm trying to avoid, but you've got me backed in a corner. I've got nowhere to go. Nobody's coming to help me, no teachers, no what. So guess what?
All right, this episode here, it means a lot to me for the guests because of the guests that we have. Mr. Ray Amanat, he's transcended. He's a very important figure in my life, and he's transcended just being a teacher. He's so much more. He's become family over the years, and y'all are going to learn more about what it is that he does. But I'm really excited to have him today on this episode of the podcast. Mr. Ray Amanat, how are you?
I am fantastic now that I'm here with you guys.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. No, I hope, Nishant, I really do hope you get to meet him one day because, like I said, this really is one of the most important people in my life. He's a role model. He's someone that I look up to. He's very multifaceted in what it is that he does. He does a lot of different things. And we're going to get into all of that now soon. And but how are you today? It's a Monday. It's a Monday morning over there. How are you?
It's a Monday like any other Monday. It's like you're just trying to get your day started, write out your schedule for the week, which I should have done yesterday, but I got to do today, and just plan out how to be successful in everything you do on a day-by-day basis.
That's awesome. And you're out there in Florida, correct?
Yeah, out in sunny Port Richey, Florida, which is kind of, nobody knows Port Richey. It's smack dab. It's not far from Tampa, not far from Clearwater or St. Pete. So I'm near all the beaches.
Gotcha. Okay. And obviously, so I met him here when he was here still in the greater St. Louis area. Mr. Amanat had a Taekwondo studio. And it later, I believe it also evolved into, I believe, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu studio, right? For a little bit, were you?
It morphed into a little bit of everything. I owned a brick and mortar martial arts school for over 25 years. Started in Taekwondo. Rewind a little bit more. The reason why I got into martial arts is I was a target of severe bullying from elementary school through middle school and high school. And I did not want to put my personal safety in the hands of teachers, counselors, administrators, or anyone, because they would show up after the fact. So I wanted to get into martial arts because I wanted to put my safety in my own hands. So I got into martial arts. Once I got my black belt, I decided that that's what I want to do is teach. And I ended up buying my instructor's school from him, and the rest is pretty much history. So, Taekwondo, I had a lot of questions, and Taekwondo didn't answer the questions. It had the competition side of things, going to tournaments. It's a long-range fighting system as far as kicking and punching. And because I wanted it more for self-defense, I wanted more answers. So I added judo to the mix. Judo gave me the sweeps, the throws, and the close quarter combatives, but that didn't answer all my questions. So I added Muay Thai fighting to the mix, which gave me the medium range fighting systems, going from long range to medium range using elbows, knees, low line kicks, setting up all the judo sweeps and throws. So I felt like, okay, now I have a more well-rounded curriculum that I'm doing and teaching, but it still didn't answer all my questions. So I added the Filipino martial arts, Kali, also known as Eskrima or Arnis, which is your stick fighting and your edge weapon or knife fighting tactics, which opened my eyes up to a whole nother world. Then I'm like, well, what else is out there? So I started with Chinese Wushu. I competed with Chinese Wushu on a national level. And then I wanted to get back to self-defense. So from that, I started going to martial arts conferences or conventions just to see what else is out there. And there were more defensive tactics like your Krav Maga. And then I got certified as a tactical master instructor in CDT, which I think I was doing when you were training with me. And that's more 100% nothing but self-defense. So if you want to look at what I teach now, yes, it's not MMA as in the sport, but it's mixed martial arts specifically designed for self-defense. Is that too much?
Yes. No, I love that. I learned a little more. As far as like I didn't realize the entire range of modes or mediums of self-defense that
well,
I didn't realize it.
Well, the questions that I was talking about are, well, what do you do if somebody takes you to the ground? Or what do you do if there's more than one person? Or what do you do if they have a weapon? And each style of martial arts that I researched and trained under, if it didn't answer that question, then which one does? So I started diving deeper into other martial arts systems. And you can even do your research as far as India is concerned. You have a martial arts. And in India, they have a grappling system, they have a striking system, and they have a weapons-based system. I don't remember what it's called. I remember doing the research on it. But it's every culture has their own combative systems that are going to have to deal with striking, grappling, and weapons.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I gotta look into that. I'm curious. I'm curious as to what it is they got going on over there. But yeah, no, it's cool to see how that business evolved itself to be beyond just brick and mortar, right? It's mobile now. You will meet people all over the nation, hopefully all over the world. Wink, Nishant, I'm hoping. All over the nation, you'll go places and you will give seminars and you will teach a group of people, wherever they may be, whether it's schools or, tell us the full range of places that you visited now with the Heroes in Action.
Well, once I had the brick and mortar school, I had built my dream school, which was, I had the boxing ring, I had the large martial arts training floor. I was looking at adding space to it, but my landlord I was having problems with, and the bank foreclosed on the property and gave me a 30-day notice to leave. So that's when I had to close the school. And that's when I started Heroes in Action, which is a nonprofit. And that nonprofit I ran for 17 years. And while I was in St. Louis, when COVID hit, COVID about destroyed my business because Heroes in Action was nothing but lectures and seminars going to public schools, private schools, and then doing seminars for businesses, corporations, on anti-bullying and violence prevention. But COVID pretty much shut me down, and I had to, after COVID, rebuild and reestablish myself, and that's where I was at a crossroads. I've lived in St. Louis for over 51 years of my life. Did I really want to retire there? And I said, no, not really. So I looked at Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, and Florida, and then Florida won. So I moved out here and decided to rebuild. But instead of pushing the nonprofit, which I'm actually closing or dissolving, I started a for-profit business, which is called Self-Defense Pros, and it's a consulting and training company. So now I do the consulting side, helping martial arts schools with curriculum content or seminars to help develop additional programs to bring foot traffic into the school. And then I do the lectures and seminars still at public school, private schools on anti-bullying. And then on the corporate side of things, I'm actually partnering with a gun range out here that, effective in 2026, I'll be doing all the types of programs the gun range offers, like conceal and carry training, firearms training. I will add all the things that they don't offer as part of their business. So they'll be promoting me. I'll do the seminars at their facilities. And it's just profit sharing. We just split everything 50-50 to help each other out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You mentioned that you were bullied while growing up, right? I'm just curious, like, what kind of mental trauma does a kid has to go through to become a bully?
To become a bully, or to So I was bullied because of my nationality. I was in pretty much a school district that was 95% white population. My parents were immigrants from Iran, and I looked different because my skin was brown. People didn't really understand. I didn't speak a lot of English at the time, or English was hard for me. So, here's the dumb kid, here's the kid, why don't you take more showers so you could be white like us? And then when the Iran hostage situation happened in the 70s, that's where they called me a camel jockey, a towelhead, a terrorist, a sand. Everything that you can think of. They'd spit on me, punch me, push me, kick me. And, it would always be when the teachers weren't looking, which is why I said I need to take my own safety into my own hands. Why do people bully? It's their upbringing. It's their, I sometimes I say bullies at school are victims at home. In other words, their parents, their families bully them. So they learn that behavior, and when they're at other places, they're empowered to be the bully so that they have that strength, because they don't want to be a weak person in anyone else's eyes. So sometimes the bully has to do with their upbringing at home. I have a book that I wrote called Bully, Victim, or Hero, of which the last chapter in the book is entitled Forgiveness, where I forgive my bullies because they didn't know what they were doing. They were just products of their home environments. The more understanding and education they have, the less they would bully, which is why I made it my goal to go to as many schools as I can to educate kids on the difference between being a bully, being a victim, or standing up for yourself and others, being a hero. I try to teach people to be their own heroes, or be heroes for other people, and downplay the word bully. But it's just a different approach to kids, because there's a lot of anti-bully programs that are out there that bullies to buddies. I don't. Would you really want to be best friends with the person that bullied you all your life? No, it just doesn't work. It's a joke. There's a lot of programs that are out there that are like that. And I've had success with mine, with what I do. And I just need more opportunities to go and speak at schools or speak at conferences for teachers, school counselors, and administrators to share my ideas, my strategies, so they can implement it into their own schools without me. There's only one of me. I can't go everywhere, but I can train people to do what I've created. I don't know if that answered your question as far as the bullying.
It did. I would like to ask, have you ever met any of these bullies later on in life, and they see the impact that you had on all these communities? They learn about what it is that you do and stuff. Yeah.
The people so I was in the Lindbergh School District back in St. Louis. And then when I moved in with my dad, I went to the Parkway School District. And that's when I started martial arts. Because nobody knew me, and I wasn't going to let them get to be able to take advantage of me or make fun of me or anything. So when I left the Lindbergh School District, I never saw any of those guys again. I would actually like to go to a class reunion and see if they're there, and then say, "Hey, remember me?" But it's in the past. It's in the past. Why bring up the past when we should be focusing on the now and in our futures? I don't want to live in the past. I want to learn from my past and make sure it never happens again.
So what can parents do different just to make sure they don't accidentally raise a bully?
That's a very good question. So when I approach schools, I want to do one of three things. I want to do a presentation and in-service training for the school staff, so that they know the message, they know how to apply the message even after I'm gone. Then I do the student assemblies where I teach the students how to stand up for themselves. The next part is the parents, where whether it's the PTA, PTSA, PTO, whatever type of organizations, but I want the opportunity to speak to the parents as well. So that everybody is on the same page, speaking the same language. A parent's idea of what bullying is different from a school's idea or definition and a child's definition of bullying. So it's getting everybody to speak the same language and agree to a specific consequence for the bully. That, like, if you were a bully and you got suspended or expelled, is that going to correct your behavior? No, you're still going to be a bully. You're just not going to school. You're not getting an education. So it's what I call the 3 Ps: programs, procedures, and I forgot the third P. But it'll come to me in a little bit. What types of programs does the school have that addresses bullies? What are the procedures that they take so that it doesn't happen anymore? And then for insurance purposes, do they have a plan of action? That's it. 3 Ps: plans, programs, and procedures.
I'll figure it out.
It'll come to me. What are the plans, for parents, for teachers, and for students? Once you address those 3 Ps, then the goal is you're never going to get rid of bullying, but you can reduce the amount of office referrals. So an office referral is go to the office, you're in trouble. Okay. If I could reduce the amount of office referrals in schools, and that's also going to reduce the amount of student suspensions, whether it's in school or out of school suspensions, expulsions where you're no longer part of the school, and it saves lives with the fact of if there's less bullying, then there's less potential for a child to commit suicide, or there's less potential for a mass shooting in a school because of bullying. So when people ask me what I do, it's not that I teach martial arts. Yes, I teach martial arts. But a deeper meaning of what I do is I save lives. If I can prevent the child from committing suicide, if I can prevent the child from becoming the next mass shooter because they were bullied, then I'm saving lives. So everything is, but you have to get the parents, the teachers, and the students all on the same page, speaking the same language. If you don't do that, you're always going to have the same problems. Yeah, you have a lot of parents that are out there that will say that, don't tell me how to raise my child. Look at how I turned out. You're a bully. The parent's a bully. Yeah, let's look at how you turned out. But they don't see that they are aggressive. They're a bully. So when I do the parent presentations, I put them on the spot and I ask them how they would react. Like, you're going to be a future parent. I'm sure you're going to have kids after you get married, right?
Yeah.
So, if somebody came and took a baseball bat to your car or spray painted your car all different colors, what would you do?
Man, I know the very first thing I'd do is it'd be like those sitcoms, and I'd look up and I'd be like, why? Now after that, I would try to find out who did it, of course, right? I would try to figure out if there's any sort of.
But what would you do? The person is right in front of you. You see them spray painting your car. What would you do?
Certainly try to deal with it, perhaps physically, yes. Perhaps physically.
All right. Now, that's where it's a gotcha. The reality is you want to beat the guy up.
Right.
But then if you beat the guy up, his family sues you, you no longer can provide for your family if you're in jail. You no longer can grow your restaurant business. You no longer can do all of that stuff. If out of anger, you go and beat him up, you go to jail. If you kill the guy, you go to jail, and you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. That's going to deplete your ability to provide for your family. Now, if you were to just call the police and let the police deal with the person, then you're still, there's insurance, there's things that you can get. A car is a material thing. It can be replaced. But you being able to provide for your family, you can't replace that if you're in jail. Or what if they turn on you and shoot you, stab you, and now you're dead? You can't provide for your family. Now they're on their own. So, people say the phrase, snitches get stitches. And they go, well, calling the police is kind of like me being a snitch. So that's part of the mindset that I have to change with kids in schools. And I use this analogy. You're walking to your friend's house, and you see your friend's house is on fire. Your friend inside the house is like, help me, help me. Are you going to run home and get some marshmallows, graham crackers, and chocolate to make s'mores, or are you going to call 911?
Call 911.
You call 911, okay? The fire department come, the ambulance come, the police come. They save your friend's life. The media comes. They got a microphone in your face. Are you the snitch that called 911? Or are they gonna say, are you the hero that called 911 that saved that person's life? So when I go to schools talking to kids, I say if you always hear the phrase, if you see something, say something. If you witness bullying or if you witness somebody hurting another person, if you report it to a teacher, is that you being a snitch or is that you being a hero?
A hero.
Hero.
That's right. Once I get people to start seeing that by me reporting it to an adult that's there to keep everyone safe, I'm being a hero. So I start getting kids to look at snitches get stitches a different way. With you being the adults, if you were to just call the police and let the police handle it, you're safe. Let the insurance company deal with the car. The person that did the spray painting and just destroying of your property goes to the jail and hopefully will get some rehabilitation to be able to be fit to get back into society. So that's a gotcha that I do to parents. If I were to push you, would you push me back? Would you punch me? Would you hit me back? If you push back, then you're aggressive by nature. If you allow me to continue pushing you over and over again, then you're passive by nature. You're a doormat. You're letting me walk all over you. So how do you teach somebody to stand up for themselves without being passive or aggressive? That's when you hire me to come in and show you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the first part is body language, how I stand with my hands open or closed. This means I want to fight. This means I don't want to fight. What I say verbally. If I say, okay, let's do this. I want one of you to say, what are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
If I were to say a lump of, is that going to make things better or make things worse?
Worse.
Worse, for sure.
It's going to make things worse. So say it again. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
You look like somebody I went to school with who was my best friend. He just gave me a whole bunch of good memories. Now, how does that make you feel?
That would make me feel better for sure.
It's not going to escalate a situation to where it becomes verbally or physically violent.
Right.
So it's teaching people to know what to say to diffuse, de-escalate a situation, or draw attention to a situation so that the right people can come help get me out of a bad situation. So that's the verbal side of things on standing up for yourself or being assertive. If that doesn't work, guess what comes next?
The fists, man.
Then the physical side comes out of me. But I have to show everybody first because we live in a world of technology where there's cameras all over the place, people with cell phones and things like that. So I need to be perceived as the non-aggressive person, the person that's not instigating or starting a fight. Once I've got enough witnesses that can see, hey, I'm not the one that's initiating or starting the fight. I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to avoid. But you've got me backed in a corner. I've got nowhere to go. Nobody's coming to help me. No teachers, no what. So guess what? Everything that I learned with martial arts, based on the situation, is there one person? Are they bigger than me? Are they stronger than me? Do they have reach over me? Am I injured? Am I sick? Those are variables. Are there more than one person I have to deal with? Do they have a weapon on them? That's where now you're seeing all the questions that I kept asking come out and all the different styles of martial arts that I studied or trained under. So I have those answers for people to, I don't want you to go, well, Mr. Amanat never taught me how to deal with this. I want to be able to, whatever question you have, I want to be able to answer it so you always have a way out. You can always get to a safe place and go back safely to your family. That's the whole point of what I teach. It's called CTS, which is conflict and threat strategies. Everything starts off as a verbal conflict that can escalate to a physical threat. So conflict and threat, you're dealing with a threat. I give you the strategies verbally. If the verbal doesn't work, physically, to get out of a situation that can cost you your life.
But it's all about long-term thinking.
Yes. So do you have car insurance?
Yes.
Homeowners insurance?
No.
Well, I don't know what it's like in India,
Okay.
but you want insurance for your house here in case of a hurricane, a tornado, or something to be able to rebuild your house.
I'm actually living in a rented house, so I don't think we could require it.
Well, rental insurance to protect all of your belongings inside the rental property. So, do you have health insurance?
Yes.
Okay. So you have all of those just in case something bad happens, correct?
Correct.
Something bad might never happen. You might never need your car insurance, your rental insurance, or your health insurance, but it's there just in case. So learning self-defense, hopefully I never have to use it in my life, but it's an insurance policy. It's there just in case I'm face-to-face with somebody that wants to harm me or harm the people around me. So did you guys, when you were young, did your parents teach you how to swim? Did you get swimming lessons?
I got swimming lessons, yes. Not from them, but we went.
Well, they put you somewhere, took you somewhere to get swimming lessons.
Yeah.
Why? Because they know you might go to a swimming pool or a lake or a river or an ocean, a beach. They want to make sure you know how to swim because they don't want you to drown. They don't want something bad happen to you. Swimming lessons is no different than self-defense lessons. It's a skill set that it's just in case you need it, it's there. But with self-defense, it's something you got to practice over and over again so that you have an immediate reflex and reaction time and not a hesitation or a thought process. You have fight, flight, or freeze. The last thing I want you to do is freeze. I don't want you to not know. I want you to know exactly what to say and what to do to keep yourself safe. That's your insurance policy.
Wow.
What are your thoughts of having a personal gun or revolver as a self-defense?
Okay, that's a very good question. So any tool, and I don't know what the laws are in India for owning firearms. You have to first look at the laws for your state, for your country, for whatever, as far as owning a firearm so you don't get in trouble. You have pepper spray, you have tasers, you have edge weapons, knives, impact weapons, asps, batons, a hammer, anything like that could be a weapon. And then you have firearms, projectile weapons. They're all good, but they're not all 100%. A gun can jam. So if you don't know, in a under pressure, adrenaline stress situation, it depends on the type of gun. If it's a revolver, that's 5 to 6 cylinder chamber, those don't jam. You can use it, but then you're limited on the number of shots. You had better be a good shot because you only got 5 or 6. And then you have semi-automatics that you have 10-round magazines, high-capacity magazines, or whatever else. But still, those guns are typically known for jamming. And if you don't know how to clear a bullet or clear a round to be able to continue firing, and you panic and hesitate, then that gun is of no use. When the gun is out of bullets, then what? It becomes an impact weapon. You have to learn to use it to hit somebody with. So any weapon that you decide to use, like a cane, I do an adaptive self-defense class out here for senior citizens using a cane. But anything that you use, you want to get extensive training with. And then you have to have a backup. Let's say you have a gun, it's a conceal and carry, you have an inside the pants holster, clothing it over it, and I grab you in a bear hug. What do you have to do first? You have to know self-defense to break the bear hug, to be able to get away before I can pull my gun out and use it. So you have to be able to have one to complement the other. You can't rely on, I have a gun, and that's going to work all the time. It might not work all the time. What if they take the gun away from you, use it on you, use it on your family? So now the training is firearm retention. Don't let me take your gun away from you. First thing I'm going to do, just because you have pepper spray or a taser, doesn't mean I'm scared of you. If I'm the criminal, the first thing I'm going to address is that. I'm going to take it away from you and use it on you. So you have to have training in weapons retention and use of that weapon. You can't just buy a gun and say, okay, I have a gun, I'm safe. No, go to a range and put in some time in shooting that gun. Put in some time in, there's, like if I were to take you to a gun range, and I am a pistol instructor, so I'd be able to teach you. But if I were to take you to a gun range, I'd have 3 different magazines. With one magazine might have 1 bullet, one magazine might have 4 bullets, one magazine would have 10 bullets in it. You don't know, I'll mix them up. I'll put it in, and you have to be able to shoot. If it jams or if you're out of bullets, you have to eject it, put the next magazine in, and go back to shooting. That's so that you overcome that fear of a malfunction. So you know exactly what to do using that firearm. You have to train for it. If you don't train for it, you're not going to know, and you're going to freeze, and the bad guy's just going to take your gun away, and he's going to show you how to use the gun on you. So they're great, but get the training to go along with it. If you don't have the training, it's a waste of time, and you're just putting weapons in the hands of criminals.
Yeah.
You mentioned teaching old folks at a nursing home how to use their cane as a weapon. What other I would say like seminars have you done where you're able to kind of use the situation or like, I guess, the group of people in there to teach them like with what it is that they have at their disposal? Like what would be another example of that?
So one of the best things that I'm proud of that I've accomplished is because of studying different martial arts and having different mentors, different teachers, that give me different approaches for teaching. Working with people with special needs, working with people that have Down syndrome, that have autism, that have some type of a physical handicap. And let's say you're in a wheelchair, you have cerebral palsy, you can't use your arms, you can't use your legs, and you're nonverbal. Then I have to train the caregiver. I have to train the person that's caring for that. So that person now learns to become a bodyguard for a person that can't protect themselves. So I can take this in whatever direction you want, but I have to adapt the training to fit my audience, whatever that audience is. If it's somebody, like I have a student out here in Florida, he's an adult and he has Down syndrome. And again, you never want to identify the person by their disability. Like you don't want to say, oh, that's a Down's baby. No, it's a baby, a human first, that has Down syndrome. It's a person first that has autism, not they're autistic. No, it's a person. Oh, that's a mentally person. No, it's a person that was born with mental issues or that was born retarded. But it's a person first. So I have to look at the person. I have to look at their abilities. What can they do? What can't they do? And then I have to adapt the training based on what they can do. If all you can do is scream, that's fine. Then the person that's going to run to help you while you're screaming, that's the person that I'm going to train to be your bodyguard. So now I'm training families. Now I'm training caregivers to be better protectors of the people that they care for.
I love that. That's awesome. You mentioned earlier that you also wrote books. You're a published author. You mentioned one book, but you have many books.
So the first book is kind of my autobiography, Bully, Victim, or Hero. It's and you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the .com bookstores, and just put in my name, Ray Amanat, and all of them will come up. But Bully, Victim, or Hero was my autobiography of how I went from being the victim to becoming the bully. Yeah, I was a bully once. Once I got into martial arts and I was empowered and I knew how to fight. Yeah, I would challenge people. I'd say, "You want to go? Let's go." But then once I became a mentor, once I became a school owner, then I wanted to be a good example for all of my students, and that's where I focused on being the hero, the Respect Center was the name of my karate school. It's about self-respect and respect for others. So everything was about standing up for yourself and standing up for the others. Have some respect. So the first book, Bully, Victim, or Hero, was my autobiography on how I went from being a victim to becoming a bully to ultimately being the person that I am today. I wrote that for parents that have kids that are going through hard times, that are being bullied or are bullies. How do you help them also? I wrote that book for teachers and school counselors as kind of a blueprint. When I do a presentation, they can always refer back to the book, and all my role plays and things like that are in the book that they can continue doing on their own with the students or with their kids. Then I wrote a series of children's books. I wanted to create something that was ongoing. It's The Adventures of Mushy the Martian, and that's Mushy, M-U-S-H-Y, Mushy the Martian. And I wanted these to be books for kids pretty much 2 years old to 7, 8 years old, to help them with critical thinking and problem solving. So one book is Mushy dealing with bullies. One book is Mushy dealing with strangers. And then if you have a child that doesn't follow directions, one book is Mushy following directions. Now I've got 2 more books that I'm working on trying to do some crowdfunding. I need to raise the money to get them published because it does cost money for... Because I don't do the illustrations, the publishing company does all that for me. But it's a salute to our military families. And another book is Mushy the Martian Goes to the Hospital, which is geared more towards kids that are dealing with cancer or other life-threatening issues, but with a positive spin on it, because I want to give them a little bit of hope that they can get some type of a cure for whatever their ailment or illness is, so they can survive and thrive in their world, or in our world that we live in. And those 2 are going to be my best books that I've written. I'm real proud of them, but I just got to come up with the money to get them published. And
get them out there. I'm excited. Yeah. I'll be buying it when it's out. I have the rest are in my in another room, but I have all his books, and I still need to get them signed. I told him I'll get them signed one day, but
I will. When we get together, I'll take care of that for you.
I got to do that. I got to make sure I do that. But
over the years, what do you think? Like, has bullying increased or decreased?
That's a good question. You have to understand, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there wasn't, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have computers, we didn't have cyberbullying. So you didn't hear about it as much. But now that we have instant communication, social media, it's instant, where you see things right away. Um, Bullies are sometimes empowered because they see videos of other people doing what they're doing. So they go, so it's not just me, other people are doing it too, so they think it's okay. I think there's just more awareness of bullying behavior in schools because of social media, because of TVs, videos, movies, and everything, that it looks like it's more now. I think it's about the same as it was back then. There's just not as much attention brought to it back then than there is now. And that's the same thing with human trafficking. That's the same thing with abusing children. Back then, they were frowned upon or looked bad on or taboo, and people, didn't have anything to do with them. But because of social media, and you have websites that are promoting it, you have websites that are promoting trafficking, you have websites that are promoting child, that almost makes it okay in people's minds, where they think, well, if they're doing it, then why shouldn't I be able to do it? So there's more. People are starting to look at it that it's okay. And what's sad is the video games that we play, the movies and TV shows that we watch, actually are a part of the problem. When you have a child playing a video game and say, hey, Dad, guess what? I got the high score for killing the most zombies. Is that something you really want to praise? When you look at John Wick movies and you see him literally killing hundreds upon hundreds of people, and they look at him and put him on a pedestal as a hero, what's going on through their mind? So it's getting children to understand the difference between reality and fantasy. Because if they live in a fantasy world where they think, well, they'll get another life, Dad. They'll become alive again, but no, they're not. They're gonna die. They're gone forever. They're living in that fantasy world. So what I would like to tell parents is, get your kids to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. One person, an actor that I like, and that's Jackie Chan. At the end of all of his movies, what does he do? He shows the outtakes of people that actually get injured. And he shows that people, they're just acting that they get killed, but then they go and check on them and make sure they're okay and show the audience that it was acting. It wasn't real. So if I were to make a movie, an action movie, I'm probably going to be the most graphic person as far as violence is concerned. But at the beginning and at the end of the movie, I want people to know that this is solely for entertainment, that it's not reality, it's fantasy. And I think every action movie or every producer should do that, just to kind of maybe help reduce the amount of violence that's going on in our world. You see Rambo movies, you see any of those that are promoting, and people, they're mowing people down and just killing people. And people are going, yeah, Rambo. But is that adding to the problem? In my personal opinion, I think it is.
It is, yeah.
What are some of your favorite martial arts movies?
Oh my gosh, there's too many, and there's a lot of ones that you can stream that are from China with dubbing, or Japan or Korea. There's just so for me, the movie that got me interested in martial arts, and this is way before your time. It's a '60s movie called Billy Jack. And Billy Jack, his name was, the actor's name was Tom McLaughlin. And this was back, and it had to do with bullying. It had to do with American Indians being oppressed by the people in the community. So Billy Jack became their savior and stood up for them. And the fight choreography, now that I look at the movie, isn't that great. I can do a better job. But for back then, yes, Billy Jack was the start of me looking into martial arts. Then the TV show Kung Fu and Kung Fu Theater, all the different, hey, your Kung Fu is very good, with the dubbing and things like that. Every Sunday I would wake up and watch, those movies, because it has to do with somebody that was the underdog that learns and gets training and becomes the hero. So our Superman, Batman, Flash, Thor, Green Arrow, all those heroes, in the Eastern cultures, the martial artists are their superheroes. Japan, they have the samurais. So all the samurai movies, that's, Zato Ichi is one of my favorite ones. Zato Ichi is the blind swordsman. That's Japanese movies. And there's a lot of recent movies that come out that are similar or offshoots of that movie. But I'm sure even in India, you have heroes that have special powers or something that stand for helping the oppressed or helping people that are victims of violence. So my whole life, watching TV shows like The Lone Ranger or Zorro or anything, there's always that one hero that's trying to help everyone else. So be a hero.
Did you enjoy the Karate Kid movie?
Yes. I mean, they all served a moment, for helping promote martial arts, because at that time I was a school owner, so I used it to get more students. My school was more like the Cobra Kai version. We weren't the Miyagi version, but now I'm kind of both, I guess, a little bit of both. I'll start off Miyagi, but then when you're ready, I'll teach you the Cobra Kai, the real violent stuff. But only if you can handle it. Otherwise, I don't want to teach it to you.
That's good. No, that's good. Taylor making the program based on the individual that's in front of you, right?
Well, with Self-Defense Pros, that's what I do. I do lecture seminars and one-on-one coaching. So now, instead of having a brick and mortar, I go to people's homes or I meet them at a park and train them, and then fit the training to their personality. I give them what I think would best serve them in self-defense situations.
How do you stay fit these days?
The more you train, the more fit you get. So it's people look at exercise or fitness as a chore. If you're doing something that you love, I don't care if it's tennis, racquetball, pickleball, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, whatever. If you have fun doing it, you'll do it more and you'll get fit because of it. But if you go to the gym, I don't like lifting weights, or I hate walking on a treadmill, it's too much of a chore, you're not going to do it. Find an activity that you love, that you're going to do on a regular basis. You're going to make a part of your routine, and I guarantee you'll stay fit. Just got to find a passion. Find something you love. My passion was martial arts, Now, granted, there is a percentage of maybe getting injured, but if you have a good coach, you won't get injured. The coach gets injured.
You also got a podcast of your own.
Yes, that's called The Ray Amanat Show. It's a conservative talk show. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and the OBBMnetwork.tv. OBBMnetwork.tv. Here lately, I've been interviewing local businesses in Florida to give them a platform so that they can use on their social media to promote their business. Of which, if you opened a butter chicken out here, I would give you a platform so we can promote your business. I mean, I could still put you on my podcast for St. Louis, which would be nice. But I would want to do it in person so we can give people a tour of the restaurants.
That'd be awesome. That's you've been doing that. I think did you launch the podcast around COVID time? Or was it
well, the first podcast that I had with a friend of mine. It was called Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. And that was us talking about every taboo subject you can think of that you would not normally have at a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner with your family. We would talk about anything and everything, but my co-host, Steve, got a different job and couldn't keep up with the podcast anymore. So that's when I transitioned it to the Ray Amanat show. And now I still talk politics. I still talk about things that are going on in our country. And, I have a chicken. You have a chicken for the butter chicken. For my podcast, it's, hold on. It's Clucky the chicken.
That's cool. That's cool.
And the whole thing with Clucky the chicken, I tell everyone is wake the cluck up, America. When we talk about things that are happening in our country, that people need to wake up and get the facts. Don't just listen to whatever news media or social media says. Trust but verify. Make sure what you're seeing is the truth based on facts, not based on propaganda or lies, because AI is getting really, really, really good for people to make videos that look like reality. People are not going to be able to tell the difference between reality and fantasy anymore, which is why I encourage parents to talk to their kids to start noticing the difference between the two so that they don't get sucked up into propaganda that gets them in trouble down the road. Brainwashes them into thinking a certain way that gets them in trouble.
Do you have any advice for the youth or anyone to not be so impressionable? I mean, it's tough, right? Nishant and I just talked about this on our episode that debuted last week, I think. Nishant, was that the herd mentality episode last week? Yeah, so essentially like groupthink and people just being sheep and, like what do you have any advice as far as how someone can not fall, I guess, in that line
of
where they
so when I do my presentations for kids at schools, elementary schools, I say, okay, you guys are all sheep. The bully is the wolf, and the protector is a sheepdog that's there to protect the herd. And then you also have watchdogs. So if you saw somebody breaking into your neighbor's house, would you go get some popcorn and look out your window and go, cool, and just watch? Or would you be a watchdog and call the police, the sheepdogs, to go take care of the wolf, the criminal? So that's why in neighborhoods we have a neighborhood watch. You have watchdogs. So I train people to be watchdogs or sheepdogs. Sheepdogs are people that are trained. They're your police officers, your soldiers, your bouncers, your security guards. They have some form of training to deal with the wolf, the criminal, the bad guy. Watchdog, they don't have the training, but this is where if you see something, say something, call 911, call somebody that is trained to take care of that. So my goal or my advice would be to learn how to be a good watchdog, learn how to be a good sheepdog. don't be the sheep. Don't just follow the herd, because that herd mentality, again, they're not aware of the wolf. They're not paying attention, and the wolf will get you. Being a watchdog, being a sheepdog, you're always aware of your surroundings. It's situational awareness. You're paying attention so that you'll never get surprised or caught by the wolf, the criminal. Be a watchdog. Be a sheepdog.
Wow, man. Like, Nishant, I told you in the beginning, I told you before today even, like, it's years. I'm talking, I think I've known Mr. Amanat since I was, 7 years old, maybe?
You were just a little kid.
Yeah. I was 7 years old, head the same size, you know what I'm saying? Smaller. But let's face it.
No comment on that.
Oh man, but I got pictures downstairs. If I could find them, I know there's a couple pictures that I got, but if I could find them,
we'll add it.
Scan them and put it in the episode. But yeah, no, it's like a lot of the things that he's taught me, I still think about to this day. Like I can still recall all those lessons that he's taught me, as far as just going beyond just the techniques that because there was, I think for me it was strictly Taekwondo, right, at that time.
Yes. I didn't change the curriculum. You were still doing katas. You were still doing. See, I had students that got mad at me because, I kind of went down Bruce Lee's path, where it's use what works. I had one of my mentors, my Filipino stick fighting coach. He asked me, he goes, "Ray, how long would it take you to train someone to be combat ready?" And for me, in my mind, I thought combat ready would be you getting up to a brown belt. So I said 2 to 3 years. And he said, that's too long for somebody to be able to defend themselves, be combat ready, 2 to 3 years. Now, he was a former Army Ranger. He was former military. And he goes, "Ray, we got a boot camp. We got 2 weeks to prepare ourselves to be combat ready." So I had to reevaluate what I wanted to teach. And I had all these students that were up to their brown belts and getting ready to test for black. And I said, guys, guess what? I'm changing the curriculum. You don't have to know this stuff anymore. This is what we're going to do from now on in place of that. And I had a lot of my students get mad at me and leave me. My question to them was, look, you've trusted me this far with your training for me to get you to where you are. Please trust me a little bit more. The students that stayed with me and then got into the new curriculum that I was creating were blown away, were appreciative, were like, oh my gosh, they're more talented, I hate to say, than the students that were doing my old Taekwondo curriculum. Because remember, I got into martial arts specifically for self-defense. And that's my passion. That's what I wanted to teach. So I broke away from teaching the traditional martial arts and focused solely on teaching self-defense. All the different facets, from long range to medium range to close range to dealing with weapons. I have a 12-pillar system, and each pillar addresses a specific level of violence that can happen to you. So if you go through my 12-pillar system, that's equivalent to you getting a black belt from me. It's just different than teaching traditional Taekwondo. But, it's their loss, my gain. I love teaching what I teach. It's not a job for me. It's not work. I could teach 24 hours a day if I had that stamina. I would do it.
What do you think that fascination is, or was rather, just for only focusing on Taekwondo with said students? Like, what What is that factor? What is that?
That's what they knew. That's what they saw as what martial arts was. Here I am training and researching with all these other people, all these other martial arts styles and systems and mentors. And I'm a sponge absorbing as much as I can, and I'm piecing together what I liked, and I'm discarding what I don't like, what I think is what they call bullshito. It's crap. And I just said, this me teaching a down block or a rising block, and I still teach that, but I don't teach it from the traditional aspect of martial art taekwondo. I do it differently. I'm still teaching it, but it's more practical application for survival. It's reality based versus fantasy based. When you go to a martial arts school, you have to ask yourself these questions. What type of school is it? Is it a tournament school where the only fighting they do is karate tournaments? Okay, tournaments, there's rules, things you can do, things you can't do. Self-defense, there are no rules. So everything I teach has nothing to do with tournaments. Can I still teach tournament-style martial arts? Absolutely, if that's what you want. But that's why I teach on a private lesson basis. If that's what you want, that's what I give you. If you want the survival, the no rules side of martial arts, then that's what I give you. You can go to a karate school and it's a daycare for kids where high five, yeah, they're teaching the respect, they're teaching the confidence, they're teaching all those tenets of martial arts, but are they teaching good martial arts? Can that kid fight their way out of a paper bag? You look at them and it's like, eh. You have your MMA schools, your full contact kickboxing, boxing schools. You have your self-defense schools that are like Krav Maga. You have to look at each school and say, is this what I'm looking for? For me, if a student leaves me, it's not because they went to a school that's better than me. It's because they went to a school that was offering what they wanted, what they're looking for. I was the guy that was offering everything, but then I became laser focused and wanted to only focus on self-defense. So automatically, all the point fighting students, that's what they want. They got to go to that school. I still did the boxing, kickboxing, and everything, so I kept those guys, and the self-defense, I kept those guys. But the traditional martial arts schools where they wanted the gi and the bowing and blah, 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 all those school students went to other schools that's what they offered. So, if that's what you're looking for, I can't help you because I got rid of the uniforms. I got rid of the belts. You're coming to me specifically for knowledge. And I'm going to test you and pressure test you on that knowledge once you learn it. And if I feel you are capable of applying that knowledge. So finish this phrase. Knowledge is
power.
That's incorrect. Knowledge is not power. It's the ability to apply the knowledge that is power. I can give you knowledge, but if you can't do it in an adrenaline stress situation, you have to do it now. Somebody's attacking you, your life is at stake, and you're like, freezing, then you have no power. But if I teach you how to apply that knowledge in adrenaline stress, under pressure situations, reality-based situations, when something happens and it just clicks, it becomes a reflex and a reaction, and you're able to get out of the situation, now you have power. So knowledge is not power. It's the ability to apply that knowledge that gives you power.
I love that. Oh man, I've learned a few things like that from Mr. Amanat. Like I remember one of my favorite acronyms growing up was KISS. Nishant, do you know what that stands for? KISS. It's keep it simple, stupid.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know where was it. Was it in the studio? Or like, was it?
Yeah, I had a sign that was on top of the wall that said the KISS principle or KISS. The military uses that a lot, but it's the KISS principle. Keep it simple. But I had to take down stupid and put it for keep it simple, student. You know, you don't need to do backflips and all that stuff that you see in movies and in TV shows with martial arts. Yeah, it's flashy, it's cool, but it's not real. That's fantasy. Now, are there some people that can pull it off and do it for real in a fight? Yes, they're talented athletes. But the great percentage of the population, speaking of percentages, you want to look at every technique, and this is my lens here. I look at everything I learn. Is it a high percentage technique or is it a low percentage technique? High percentage of it working, low percentage of it working. If it's a technique that's a low percentage technique, why would I want to teach it? Why would I want to share something that doesn't work all the time? It's a low percentage technique. So everything I see on YouTube, everything I see just through social media, videos or whatever else, I look at it as bullshit-o. Is it a high percentage or low percentage technique? If I like it, then I'll study it more. I'll research it more. I'll test it more. I'll pressure test it. If it works for me at least 70 to 80% of the time, which means it's a high percentage technique, then it's worth teaching. If it doesn't work 50% or 40% or whatever else, for me, it's not worth teaching. It's back there because it might be good for somebody with a disability. It might be good for somebody that is elderly and is a fall risk or has balance issues. But I would rather focus on teaching the high percentage techniques that I know will work in violent situations when you're under pressure. So you have to look at everything that you see in movies now. One, it's fantasy. Two, is it a high percentage or low percentage technique? Will that really work? Just the way they execute it. And if you think it's bullshit-o, then it's a low percentage technique. Just next video, next, show me something different.
Yeah. Man, Nishant, I'll give you, I'm going to share this, something else that I'm remembering right now. So he has, Mr. Amanat can eat really spicy. He has a very high spice tolerance. And you could literally take him a bottle of Tabasco sauce and he would just drink it. He would just like straight pure spice. He would just drink it.
And I think he would love India, man.
So when I go to Indian restaurants and I order whatever, they always ask, do you want mild, medium, or Indian hot or hot? You have hot and then you have Indian hot. And I always say, give me Indian hot. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. They bring me my food and I eat it and they go, was it hot? I'm like, no, I asked for Indian hot. Now, there have been some restaurants that gave me Indian hot that, holy cow, I was paying for it for the next couple days. But no, it's and I know they use ghost peppers, ghost pepper powder or whatever else. So I when I taste it, I go, oh, okay, this is ghost pepper. But no, Tabasco is like ketchup to me. That's nothing.
Yeah, I was like, man. So he, yeah.
What's your favorite dish?
Yeah, what is your favorite dish? Actually, that's a good question.
Everywhere I go is chicken tikka masala, Indian hot, with not just it's the garlic naan bread, but it's with the pepper also.
Oh, he likes the chili, like chili garlic.
Yeah. Garlic chili naan, 100%.
The last time he came to Taj Palace, I think like 2 times before, or 3 times. One of the more recent times he's come. I think they didn't even put any like chili powder in the food, man. I was like, oh my god. He was like, yo, this is he was like, this is like less than mild. This is like American.
I asked your dad once to give me Indian hot, and he gave it to me, and I was sitting there, my nose was running, my eyes were watering, I was sweating, and he goes, "Is that hot?" I go, "This is perfect, thank you." If it doesn't make your nose run and your eyes water and you're sweating while you're eating, it's not hot enough.
Have you ever had the blazing wings from Buffalo Wild Wings?
It's not hot enough.
Wow. Okay.
Well, there's one. Okay, let me put it to you this way. There's hot where it's just torturing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's hot that has flavor. It has to have a good flavor to it.
Yeah.
True.
If it's just hot and doesn't have flavor, then you're stupid. You're just torturing yourself. Yeah. It's got to have good flavor. I went to a Thai restaurant and I asked for Thai hot, and it was hot with no flavor, and I'm like, this is disgusting. It was hot, but no flavor. I couldn't enjoy the food. It was just hot. So it has to have flavor.
I hear you. Yeah, that's the one thing about I think at Buffalo Wild Wings, when you get a blazing wing, like
I think it doesn't have flavor. It's just hot.
Yeah, it's just hot. But the mango habanero wing, which is also like up on that scale.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Because it has flavor. It's hot and it's flavor. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. Wow, this is great. I'm looking forward to the next time you come here, so we could go ahead and get the footage shot for the show at the butter chicken spot. That'll be great. So we'll get that going. Nishant, we're gonna have to try to figure something out to have not do a seminar in India.
That gives me a chance to be an international speaker or teacher.
Yes,
that's right.
Which I would love to add that to my resume. So if there's a way that we can do that, I would love to come out, as long as I have interpreters, unless everyone speaks English.
Yeah, we can try with the posh private schools, right? I believe everyone's we can start with that maybe. But yeah.
I look forward to it. It would be fun.
That'd be we'll do some research on that and try to figure out what we can do. But I'm actually going there. I'm gonna meet Nishant for the first time in January. So that's gonna be fun. How far is Port Richey from Orlando again? I've asked you this question before.
So Orlando is about an hour and a half away from where I'm at.
Oh man, there's no excuse, man. There's no excuse for me to try to make it up there. I gotta. Or
I go to Orlando, or we can meet each other halfway. It don't matter.
So I'll try to. We'll figure, because I'd like to see Port Richey also. So I'll and I'm sure you've seen Orlando quite a bit. So
of course.
Yeah. Oh man, stuck on I-Drive with all the tourists.
Yes, I try to stay away from Highway 4. It's a parking lot, but
Oh man, well, we appreciate you and your time. Thank you so much. This was great. There's just so much that we could always get into. So hopefully we can, if anyone wants to get more of Mr. Ray Amanat, they can see the Ray Amanat show on, you said YouTube.
We'll add all the socials in the description.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah, and just go to my website, rayamanat.com.
Okay, awesome.
rayamanat.com, yeah. It'll have all the social medias and everything on there as well.
That'll be good. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all. If y'all like this, please like, comment, subscribe, share it to whoever you feel like could benefit from this. And we will try to keep bringing you engaging content in the future, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode just as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. All right.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.